They've been making The Call of the Wild for almost a century. This is from 1935, and that's Clark Gable. The new movie starts where the original novel did. We see Buck, a St. Bernard Scotch Collie mix, trying to adapt to life on a judge's estate in California. Now, it's a big house, but yeah, that's a lot of dog. But before Buck can finally fit in, he's dog-napped, only to find himself in Alaska and in the middle of the gold rush. This is where he meets up with John Thornton. Harrison Ford plays a man who fled to the north to escape his grief over his dead son. As Buck escapes his captors, the two meet.
Hey, geez. Watch yourself.
But then they part ways as Buck joins a sled team delivering the mail in the Yukon. Perrault and Francois are the mail carriers, and here the movie updates the original, casting the pair with French actor Omar Sy and Canadian Indigenous star Cara G. Much of the middle of the film is focused on the animals themselves as Buck faces off against the lead dog, Spitz. Then Thornton tumbles back into view. After hiding at the bottom of a bottle, he's filled with a new purpose, to pay tribute to his son's fascination with the North.
He's crazy about the news coming out of the Yukon. It wasn't the gold, he didn't care about that, it was the mountains. He spent all day looking at maps and pictures of the mountains, dreaming about what was on the other side. Places no one had been. Wild places. We could go.
Now, at its best, Jack London's novels were all about man versus nature, the power and beauty of it all. But for a movie inspired by that, this Call of the Wild is surprisingly artificial. It may be set in Alaska and the Yukon, but it was mainly filmed in a California desert where they trucked in snow and the actors were wearing cooling packs under their fur. It's more green screen than actual greenery, or blue screen as you can see there. And then there's Buck, the digital doggy. That's right, the reason why he might look a little off to you is that the mutt has more in common with the computer animated critters from the Lion King remake than Old Yeller. But because the computer animators were still building Buck when the camera started rolling, they needed someone to share the scene with Harrison Ford. Enter Terry Notary. He's a gymnast who's worked with Cirque du Soleil, and when Hollywood needs an actor to become an animal, they call Terry. So they called him and said, "Do you want to be in a movie with Harrison Ford?" And Terry said, "Sure." And they said, "Great, you're the dog." And so take a look. I want to show you. This is footage from the CBS Sunday Morning's feature on Harrison Ford. That's Terry as Buck providing the reference for the motion capture animation. He not only studied how to move like a dog, but how to be the dog.
When Harrison was acting alongside me or to me, I was trying to become the best listener I could by allowing his inflection and his emotions, his subtleties affect me and then give me a feeling, and from that feeling I would understand.
But when you watch the final result, well, either Buck looks fake or in some cases a little too human. I mean, look at the gestures, the emotions, the eye rolls. It's as if Terry Notary's performance influenced the final result. And look, it's not as if we don't know how to make movies with animals. Look at Black Beauty or Beethoven. Heck, anybody remember The Littlest Hobo?
Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down.
The good news is we still have Harrison Ford. And he, right down to the scruffy beard, is all real. The reassuring growl of that voice, the self-deprecating presence that he has. He's a bit of a curmudgeon, and there's a kindness there, a sweetness that we don't always get with Ford. One of the ironies is the reason Ford made the film is that he's a committed environmentalist and wanted to underline the importance of nature in our lives. But with so much technological trickery, the result is a dog's breakfast. 3 stars out of 5. Eli Glasner, CBC News, Toronto.